Hi, everybody. It's John Ans again with Ashtonwood House Concerts. It is the end of July, and we are looking forward to our next concert, which is going to be an outdoor summer concert. We haven't done one of these in about 3 years due to scheduling and poor weather. But on August 9th at 6:30 p.m., we have got Avery Joi and her trio coming here to play and perform, hopefully from the deck to our audience on the lawn, and of course to everyone else as we will be live streaming the concert as we normally do. So we've got Avery waiting to talk to us, and so let's bring her in now.
Hello.
Avery, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. So we're really excited to have you coming to play our place in a few weeks now. And
Yeah.
for people who don't know you very well or don't know you as well as they should, um, could you tell us a little bit about who you are, where you are, and how you got into music?
Yeah. Try to make it short. My name is Avery Joy. I grew up in Western Mass. I'm from Westfield, and I've been singing and performing from a really young age, probably about 6 or 7. Um, I started singing in a jazz combo in high school, which led me to really cool camps like Jazz in July, which is I think actually happening this week
Probably
at
right now, yeah.
UMass Amherst. Um, and then also the Vermont Jazz Workshop in Putney, Vermont. So I
Great.
got to work really closely with a lot of jazz elders and greats and a lot of modern jazz musicians and singers that have really shaped me to feel um, very close to this music.
Yeah.
And I went on to the new school to pursue jazz vocal performance. And
That's
then
down in New York, right?
yeah, that's in Manhattan. So I went there, and then I transferred and went to William Patterson University and
Good.
joined their jazz program. Um, but I've had lessons with really awesome singers like Amy London. She's a great jazz vocalist, and then Sheila Jordan, who's
Oh, wow.
amazing, and Jay Clayton as well, who kind of started the around the free jazz era, and it wasn't popular for singers to be involved with free jazz.
Right.
So you can look her up, and she has so many awesome videos on YouTube, like exploring it in the 60s and 70s. But since then, I kind of moved back home to Western Mass and have been continuing to play, um, various venues around here, like the Iron Horse in Northampton, and the Marigold in East
Sure.
Hampton, Bishop's Lounge in Northampton, which just closed sadly. And
Oh,
then I
right,
also
right, right. And
taught
I
in.
know I see you've been playing a lot, almost a staple in some of the summer series, the Summer on Strong and
Mhm.
bands on Brewster and a whole bunch of stuff. So you're out there all the time.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for Western Mass, this scene. It's very caring. It's super different from when I was in New York. They kind of, throw you out into the scene if you're trying to pursue music out there. And it can
Right.
be very intimidating and not as open. And it kind of made me a little intimidated and
Got it.
nervous.
How
So
how do you get into music as early as you did? Was that something, was there influences in the home, or did someone just say music would be really great for Avery, let's get her into some lessons? Or I
oh
mean,
no,
what
no.
what
It
was
was
it?
definitely in the home. I grew up with music. My grandmother is an amazing, amazing singer and piano player.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
I grew up in her house, and she has her father, so my great grandfather's piano in there. And I would learn how to play it. She would sing in church with me. And then my mom went to school for a classical flute.
Wow.
She's a flautist, and
Nice.
she's also amazing. So there was always music, and like I said, I was put into piano and voice lessons around 7 years old. So
Wow.
started young.
So, given that you're sort of, as young as you are, growing up now and having been influenced and gone to school, but still playing, who, I guess, both living and not, who are the people that you listen to that sort of inspired you or maybe informed either some of your interests or maybe even your style?
Right. Definitely when I started with, jazz and things like that, it was honestly first Ella Fitzgerald was my big one.
Sure.
Um, she introduced scatting to me, and I thought it was just the coolest thing ever when I was around 12 or 13. And then also, my grandmother put me on to Barbara Streisand at a really young age, and she does a lot of the American Songbook songs. So she was a huge inspiration to me. Also, with her being in a lot of musicals, super theatrical. I loved that. And then there's also Sarah Vaughan. I was introduced to her shortly after, and her phrasing is something that I've actually been most inspired by.
Oh, wonderful.
Um, yeah, and then when it comes to like improvising and trying to be a part of the rhythm section, which comes as a jazz vocalist, is definitely Betty Carter and like Carmen McRae.
Nice.
And living right now, Jasmia Horn is an amazing modern jazz
Yep.
vocalist. She, kind of blows a lot of the other ones out of the water for me. Um, and another super big, there's so many. I love
Sure.
vocalists, um, Gretchen Parlata is another modern jazz vocalist that I love. Sarah Elizabeth Charles, who went to my high school, is a big inspiration for me as well. And then there was another one, another modern jazz singer. I don't know if you've heard of Ellen Anderson. She
No.
is from Sweden, I believe,
Okay.
and she has a completely different, you know, um, style and phrasing when it comes to improvising and singing these songs and arranging them, which I think is super cool. So I get my inspiration from all these different places and try and compile it into
Right.
my
And just you also are not just a jazz singer, right? I mean, you also seem to have, with different bands and different ensembles, you also have a different sound. And I don't know whether you'd call it pop or is it funk or is it somewhere in
Right.
between?
It's a lot of when I branched out into the Hartford scene, I saw a little bit less of the jazz around and more R&B,
Hmm.
more funk and neo soul. I guess a little bit of pop too, some Erica Badu type of things.
Yeah.
And I also hold a lot of that really dear in my heart. And with my experience in jazz, it made it, in my opinion, a little bit easier to hop on to other
Oh,
genres and take some
okay.
of that knowledge and apply it. And it's been working for me pretty well, I think.
Well, we won't make you pick a favorite genre.
Mm,
But this concert coming up on August 9th here at the house, hopefully weather permitting, out in the yard,
yeah.
is you with sort of a traditional jazz trio.
Yeah.
So first of all, tell us who's coming with you.
Okay, well, Paul Arcelanian is going to be with me, and he plays piano. He's absolutely amazing. He's, I have to say, my favorite pianist I've ever worked with in my entire life.
That's quite something.
He listens, and he's also a singer. He can sing. He plays percussion. Um, so his style of playing makes me super comfortable. There's never a time where I feel insecure or intimidated by him. And I've been playing with him since I was 15,
Okay.
so a really long time now. And then, yeah, so I could talk about Paul for hours. He's a huge inspiration to me as well. And then on bass, I'll be bringing Aeneas Strozier. He is a younger bass player around my age, from the Boston area, I believe, and he studies at UMass Amherst. Um,
Got it.
he is a phenomenal bass player. Same thing, never feel uncomfortable or intimidated. He's um, very open and loves working with vocalists, which just makes it so much fun to play with them.
Great. So what also so obviously this is I mean, obviously I know you probably do some just straight ahead piano and voice sometimes, but this obviously is a smaller ensemble and and also sort of a small. again, you're not going to be in, well, hopefully you're not inside the house. If you are, that'd be great. But if this is outside, obviously it's a little bit roomier, but it's a fairly intimate, it's a small gathering.
Right.
The live stream aside, which will reach thousands, I mean, obviously it's a more intimate um sort of a party and performance. Is that something that you like, this sort of house concert sort of a vibe, or is this new to you, or what?
Honestly, I really prefer these types of concerts. I love when it's more intimate and when the people know what they're there for and what they're going to be hearing and, are very um, interested and paying attention. Those are the kinds of things I really like, or where I can talk to them after and actually feel included rather than the kind of background, performances where it's like a festival or a restaurant where, people just happen to be there and
Right,
either they
right.
like it or they don't.
Well, I was gonna say, it's one that you talked about how much you love Western Mass, and one of the things that's almost a little too bad, I feel, is that the Western Mass audiences really have been spoiled. I mean, you can go out to dinner not intending to listen to music and hear some great music, but of course,
Yes, that's
as you
right.
said, that's not why they were there, which means that's not really what they're paying attention to. So I do really like being able to provide a captive, appreciative audience with a great performance.
Right.
And then as we have talked about, this is not only a great audience, but it's also one where you may be performing, but you are a part of the party.
Right.
So
That feels
lots
good.
and lots of chance to meet and mingle and all sorts of things. So we look forward to that. Anything in particular that you'd want to, without giving your set list away, or is this going to be just straight out of the Great American Songbook, or some interesting things that we should look for in this set?
Definitely think there should be some interesting things other than the American Songbook. There are a lot of, I would say, jazz standards that are not in the book. So, maybe things that you've heard before that aren't considered jazz standards that have a different vibe. Or one could be like All Blues, Miles Davis. I like
Yeah.
singing that one. That's not like your typical straight ahead, you know, jazz tune. It can be used a bunch of different ways. But we do like to play a lot of those standards and songs from the book. Um, but it is definitely going to be a little different having Aeneas coming from where he is, and then Paul from where he's at, and then me, and just blending it all together. It's going to be something new and very refreshing. But we actually haven't had this rehearsal. We're going to do it this Sunday. We're all going to get together and really hone in and discuss what we're going to play and arrange the songs. We'll
Yeah.
probably come up with a couple arrangements of these standards, which always makes it more fun. Where you're like, "Oh, do I know this song?" And then it's, "Oh
Right.
wait, yeah, I
Well,
do."
the great thing about jazz is, having one rehearsal is almost probably one rehearsal too many, because you almost don't need it, but it's
No,
uh
that's
it's nice to
right.
at least know what you're planning.
It is. A lot of the performances I do have no rehearsals, which, like you said, it kind of adds to it, makes it more real and kind of on the spot. And you really have to listen to each other and interact and communicate, which I think makes it a lot of fun. But a rehearsal is always kind of takes some stress and weight off your shoulders.
Right, right, right. Well, Avery, that is wonderful. We are very excited you're coming. Again, it is Saturday, August 9th.
Yeah.
The show starts at 6:30. It is live, and it will be live streamed on Facebook. And we just can't wait for you to join us, and you and Paul and Aeneas, and we're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, we're really excited too. It's a super great thing that you're doing. It's
Well,
a really
thanks.
good
We
time.
love
We
it,
really
and we hope you love it too.
Oh, we will. Thank you so
We'll
much.
see you in a couple of weeks.
All right, I'll see you then.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.